Today I'm going to briefly present to you a topic that's probably impacted some of you in some way, shape, or form. For some it can be a little sensitive, but for everyone, however, it can be very informative. As someone eventually going into the field of counseling in the criminal justice system and working with offenders and clients, it's very important, not just for me, but for others to know how important this topic is and how it can affect society as a whole. This topic is alcoholism. Until recently, I've not been in any kind of a situation that involves someone I know being controlled by the substance of alcohol. To keep the story a little short, I went to go visit my boyfriend's family for Memorial Day, and by the time I arrived at their house, his dad had a little too much to drink. And from there was some arguing that erupted among him and the members of Tony's family, um, and it really scared me because I'd never been in that kind of situation before. And let's just say the rest of the day did not go as planned due to the alcohol that was in his dad's system that caused him to say some things and do some things that were not very pleasant. However, he has asked us to forgive him and has apologized to us for his behavior and is now seeking treatment for not just his alcohol issues but also for his anger management. And this is just one example that can show how much of an impact that alcohol can have on someone's life. Now I will go into a little more detail of what alcoholism is, how it's harmful to the body and other parts of our lives in terms of social life and stuff, and provide you with some forms of treatment that can be helpful for those who are struggling with alcoholism. The medical term for alcoholism is alcohol dependence, according to an article in the New York Times on it was an in-depth article about alcoholism. And some of the characteristics of alcohol dependence are tolerance, which is having to have an increased amount of alcohol in order to feel the effects of it. So having an increased amount of alcohol. The symptoms of withdrawal that can occur when there is a reduced amount of alcohol in the body, so reduced use of alcohol, or someone has stopped drinking alcohol. And some symptoms of withdrawal can include nausea, sweating, irritability, hallucinating, or seizures. And some other characteristics are constant craving or not having any limits to drinking when wanting to drink, and continuing to drink regardless of having any knowledge of what it can do to you physically or how it can harm you psychologically or loved ones physically or psychologically. And some specific physical harm that alcohol can do. It can cause hypoglycemia, which is also known as low blood sugar. Excuse me. So low blood sugar, high blood pressure, damage to the brain, heart, and the liver, enlarged blood vessels in the skin, a pneumonia, and increased chances of cancer in the larynx, the esophagus, so like that's down here, and then the liver, the breast, the stomach, and the pancreas, according to WebMD. And along those lines, it can also cause you to be in motor vehicle accidents if you decide to go out and drink and then drive afterwards. And then some social harms that it can cause, like based on personal experience, it caused some unnecessary arguments that did not have to happen. Other things from the past were coming up that were not true, and some things were. It was really just some things that did not have to be said, and it caused a lot of turmoil within the relationships that were there and that are made. And it can also cause someone to become a victim of date rape or any kind of sexual abuse, which can, again, cause some turmoil between people and their relationships that they can have, just because of alcohol use, excessive alcohol use. Some forms of treatment for those that are suffering with alcoholism. A good example would be Alcoholics Anonymous, which is a social support group, fairly well-known support group. Cognitive behavioral therapy, psychotherapy, or counseling. Various medications that can help target the brain chemicals that are involved with addiction. Or there's also some residential treatment programs that work with people that are struggling with alcoholism, and as well as their family, and they can get them involved in various types of individual counseling as well as group therapy with that involves family members and stuff like that. So in conclusion, alcohol can have a huge impact on our lives, and if we don't have control over our use of it, it can eventually control us and how we use it. If there's anyone that knows someone that struggles with alcoholism, please encourage them to say something if they need help, if they encourage them to see a doctor, a pastor, a counselor, or anyone that they trust, to tell them that they are struggling with this and that they can get help if they need it. But also keep in mind that we cannot make anyone get help. The only way that anyone can get help is if they want to get it themselves. And the first step to getting help, which is something that we all know, is that we have to admit that we have a problem. And once a problem has been identified, we can only hope that things can get better from there.